Disney Cruise Line activities are booked weeks before you ever step on the ship. Here is how it works. You can watch me book my own. Hi, I'm Shannon from wdwprepschool.com, and I'm back for another video where you get to watch me do something that maybe you've never done before, and you're curious how it looks when your booking window opens up. I've done like how to do your online check-in for Disney cruises. I've done different things with Disney World, but this is another one on the list of booking your actual activities on your Disney cruise. There's a few things to know about how it works. One is you need to make sure that your cruise is linked within your DCL account so that when you go in there and you look at current reservations, it is listed. You also need to make sure that it is paid in full before it is time to book your activities. This is something that I did wrong this time because as of the time I'm recording this, I have just paid off my cruise for April, but my booking window already opened up like a couple weeks ago, I think. So I just had the timing off. And so luckily I don't need to book anything that's like too difficult. But if you want to book as soon as possible, then you do need to make sure that your cruise is paid off. Which brings us to when can you book your activities for your cruise? Like a lot of activities or a lot of things related to cruising, it is based on your status or how many cruises you've been on before. So if this is your first cruise with Disney Cruise Line, then you could book your activities 75 days prior to sailing. If you're Silver Castaway Club member, it's 90 days before. If you're Gold, it's 105 days prior. Platinum is 120 days. Pearl is 123 days. And if you're Sailing Concierge, it is 130 days prior to sail date. Incidentally, this is why in the cruise Facebook groups, the concierge guests are the ones who can provide information about which activities are available or what the schedule of the ship is, because as concierge guests, they get first dibs. So they can kind of see what the options are and often just have the schedule sent to them from their concierge contact with DCL. This is me while editing. I realized I never set a time that you can book, only the number of days. So if you are booking the number of days out, like right when it opens, then you'll need to be online at midnight Eastern time. And that's right when that book now button will appear in your DCL account. Before that, it will not be available. So just refresh right at midnight Eastern time and you'll be able to start booking. Okay, so now that our cruise is linked and paid off and we know when we can book, the next question is, what can you book? There's different things that you can book both on the ship and off the ship. Let's start with the onboard activities. There's a bunch of different things. I'm going to list off some options. And these aren't available necessarily on every cruise, but these are examples of things that are often available. There is the Adventure Tea with Royalty. There are beverage tasting seminars. So for instance, a beer tasting, a wine tasting, a mixology for cocktails. Bibbidi by Boutique / Pirates League. Bibbidi by Boutique does pirate makeovers on pirate nights. So it's the same thing. Goofy sports deck activities, Olaf's Royal Picnic, Royal Court Royalty, private photography sessions. You can have them take professional photos of you if you would like, and you can book it at this time. And spa and salon appointments. So these are some of the onboard things that are available. One thing that you cannot book at this time is the Royal Gathering. Royal Gathering doesn't cost anything, but it is a reservation that is required. Everyone has access to it 30 days before the cruise begins. It doesn't matter what your status is. The Royal Gathering is something where you get to go to the atrium area of your cruise ship and meet several princesses all at once. Doesn't cost anything, just requires a reservation 30 days beforehand. Some other things you can do that are onboard activities are adult dining, such as Palo and Remy's. These are very popular, and there's going to be like brunch and dinner options. So you'll want to figure out which of those you're interested in. There's also the It's a Small World nursery. So while kids have access to the kids clubs on the cruise ships, if they're under 3, they have to go to the nursery, and you can make reservations for that at this time. And then finally, the port adventure. So what are you going to do when you get off the ship? And are you going to book it through Disney Cruise Line or a third party? Obviously, if you're booking it right now through the DCL, activity booking that we're talking about in this video, then you would be booking it directly with Disney Cruise Line. You can also book it through third-party vendors who provide the excursions. There are pros and cons to this. The pros of booking with Disney, a lot of people like the security of it and the ability to make sure that you're going to make it back to the ship, because Disney will either wait for you, or if you don't make it back to the ship, they will make sure you get back at the next port. They will take care of you in that way. A lot of people like booking with third-party vendors because a lot of times it's cheaper. You can book more days ahead of time, so you don't have to wait for your booking window with DCL. You can book it more ahead of time. And a lot of times there's just more options through third party, but you can book it either way. You can also book port adventures, incidentally, on Disney's private islands. If you happen to be on a cruise that goes to Castaway Cay or Lookout Point, you don't have to book anything at all if you don't want to, but it is an option. There is food provided by Disney Cruise Line on those islands. There are also activities. You can do it either way. Lots of people just go to the beach and don't book anything at all, but it has activities just like any port. Okay, so that's the basics of what you can book and sort of how it's set up. And now let's go book some activities for my April cruise. Okay, so you can book your activities through the DCL app if you want, or through a browser. I'm going to use the browser. I'm of a generation where I feel like important things need to be done on your computer. I don't know why, but it is easier too. So we're going to go with that, and I'm going to show you kind of how it works. So I've just gotten into my reservation here, and you can see that there's a book now button right next to cruise activities. And if I hadn't paid off my cruise yet, and if I wasn't within my window, this would be an option, but I'm well within my window now. So it is an option. So we're going to click book now. And once it loads, it's going to show us options for every day of the cruise. And even though I'm not going to book too many things, I am going to scroll through the list so that you can see kind of just how it looks throughout your trip. Okay, so our first day, we board in San Diego. And since this is a San Diego cruise, obviously not going to Castaway Cay or to Lighthouse Point, but if those are during your trip, you will see those listed here as well. So we're going to go to add activities on our first day at sea here and just see what it shows. You can see that it has a choice between onboard fun, dining, and spa and fitness. If it was a port day, it would also have port adventures. So just to give you an example of what it looks like for onboard fun, I'm going to let it load. There's going to be things that are already sold out, but I wasn't worried about trying to book anything because we're not trying to book difficult stuff. Okay, so you'll see Bibbidi Bye Boutique, chocolate and liquor tasting, mixology, the Royal Court Royalty. As I mentioned, the Royal Gathering doesn't start until 30 days beforehand. Photo sessions, wine tasting, whiskey tasting, okay? Now we're going to change the day. I can go back to day one just to see what's available. There's fewer options on day one, but there are some options. And sometimes you can book things on day one that are for the duration of your cruise. Like for instance, this unlimited photo package here, it's a little bit confusing because it's set on a day, but if you book the unlimited package on day one, then you get it for your whole cruise. It just happens to be listed on day one. So again, we have the Dubai Boutique, we have different drink sessions, and there is this Prima Notte at Palo, and I believe that is only available on embarkation day. I've never done it because the timing doesn't really work well for me usually, but it is a choice here. Okay, so we looked at day 1 and 2. Let's go to 3, which is our first port day. And I have in a tab what we want to do here, which is we're going to do the Discover the Avalon Theater and Wrigley Ballroom. And that is onboard fun. And I'm going to have to scroll down to, oh, it's only doing onboard fun right now. So let's go to the main screen again and select port adventure so that we're not stuck in the onboard fun option only, because we don't need to book that on this day. You can do research on the excursions beforehand. To know I like using Cruise Critic for reviews of different activities to do. Okay, so this one, the number is CK105. I believe that's what that says. So we're starting with CK106 right here at the top. And let's see if 105 is still, there we go. This right here, 105. But there's lots of different choices, and these are with third-party companies. And if I went and looked at these, to book separately, I'm sure that there's a different price and stuff like that. But I just want to book through Disney. So we're going to book this for 2 people, and it lets you choose who it is. So if everyone in your group doesn't want to do it, then you don't have to. You can just choose part of the group, the whole group, whatever you want to do. It is telling me it is at 8 a.m. So I'm going to be booked for that as soon as I hit save here. This is a fairly short cruise because we just have 2 port days. And so I'm really just booking 2 activities that are for the port days. Okay. And now you can see that we've gone back to the main screen and now it lists it as an activity on day 3. Again, I could have done onboard fun for other options. If you're curious, I will click over and just show what onboard fun is available on this port day. A lot of people do stay on the boat because it's an opportunity to enjoy the boat with your people. So again, we have these different drink seminars, beauty by boutique. The pirate themed makeover appointment time means that that is pirate night. So if you happen to be curious, even if you're not trying to schedule a pirate makeover, I don't have kids to do this with, but it is an indicator of when pirate night's going to be. So I'll know on this day that this is when we're going to, dress up in pirate gear and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So let's go back and look at more options because that was Catalina Island. Next day is Ensenada, Mexico. And I'm going to do another port adventure there. The one here I want to do is called La Bufadora Sightseeing Tour, EN14. So once this loads, let's see if we can get it. A Mexican family celebration, zip lining. Let's see. Okay. So we have the kayak tour here and then the sightseeing tour. This is what I am trying to book. I live in Mexico, so I'm trying to do something that I don't normally get to do where I live. Once again, I'm going to pick 2 people. We'll see if it asks me to pick a time. It probably will. And this one's at 9 a.m. So we're going to have 2 mornings. I know this one is 4 hours long. So this will take us through around 1 o'clock. And then that will be it. And then before I click out of here, I will look at more like options on the boat in case you are curious what appears when you log into here. Okay, so those are my 2 activities that I wanted to book at the ports. So now we have something to do when we get off the boat. You don't have to get off the boat though if you don't want to. Okay, so let's say we were staying on the boat. What is available on this Ensenada day? I bet it's going to be more drink beverage seminars. Yep. And photo session and beauty by boutique. Okay. So there is that. All right. So that's kind of the gist of it. I hope that is helpful. I'm scrolling in here. I wanted to mention there's onboard gifts. And if you want to have things waiting in your room when you get on board, this is a way to do it. It's great for like special occasions, obviously, like a birthday or anniversary, but also just fun because they decorate your room. I have done it several times. I don't tend to do it as much anymore, but it's an option while you're in here. And if you want to kind of look around and see what the onboard gift options are. So that is it. If you have any questions about this, feel free to leave those down in the comment section and I will get back with you. But thanks for joining. Thanks for watching.